Hey guys, Steve here, Mobile Automotive Plus. Today we're going to be working on this Hyundai Tucson. Customer called me out, told me that he's got a couple different vehicles he needs some work on, and that this Hyundai is his wife's vehicle and needs to get it up and going. I already got here, I fired it up. It's definitely got a miss going to it. She said its idle is heavy, or it runs heavy at times. So anyway, we're here today. I'm going to go and hook the scanner up, see if we can see a mist coming out of it. I picked up a set of plugs and wires, hoping that that's what it's going to be. Something tells me, my gut tells me that we're going to need an ignition coil, which they're not cheap for this thing. But if we need it, we need it. So anyway, let's get the scanner hooked up and see what she shows us. Alrighty guys, so I got the scanner pulled up. We have a cylinder 5 misfire, couple oxygen sensor codes. Bank 1 and bank 2, so both the front side of the engine, back side of the engine, showing that it's lean. Usually it will show us a rich code if we have a miss, because now it's throwing extra fuel out the system, but it's showing us lean codes right now. Computer's probably compensating for it. So anyway, if we got a cylinder 5 misfire, these ignition coils that are on this vehicle is, you have 3 of them, 2 of them go for each cylinder. So cylinder 5 is one of them, and now let's say maybe 5 and 6 is on one, 1 and 2, and then 3 and 4 is on the other coil. But anyway, I'm going to pull this back, we'll fire it up, and we'll see if we can see an actual misfire coming from the live data. This is always fun. I actually had to jump the vehicle off because the battery was somewhat dead, but now I just cleared all my codes out. No check engine light on it. But cylinder 5 was a misfire. We're going to go up there, see if there's something wrong with cylinder 5. Spark plug, wire, ignition coil. Make sure everything's hooked up, but I can definitely feel it missing. It's not running 100%. Hopefully it's just plugs and wires, but I got a feeling it's going to be a coil. So let's go take a look. According to the picture that we got our ignition coils right here. Cylinder 5 is going to be all the way in the back on this side, which correlates with apparently cylinder 2. So usually if one of these goes bad, as you can see, you have 2 plug wires that go into one ignition coil. They're hooked up the same way. They probably fire at the same time whenever they're hitting. So usually if we have a cylinder 5 misfire due to ignition coil, then we would have like a cylinder 2 misfire along with it. But anyway, we'll take cylinder 2 out over here, take a look and make sure that the wire's fine, there's no corrosion or anything like that. The plug will kind of tell us what we're looking at. Plugs are shot, then that's what we're going to start with. We'll start with a set of plugs and wires and go from there. So I just called the customer, let them know that, hey, we're going to start with plugs and wires. If plugs and wires doesn't solve our issue, then we'll have to move next to an ignition coil. But let's pull cylinder 2, take a look, because he can't remember the last time that they did plugs on this or wires, and wires look pretty crusty and old. So we're going to start with that. If we have an issue, we'll throw our ignition coil on it, and that should solve the problem. But let's hope that, fingers crossed, that it's just our plugs and wires. In all honesty, these don't look terrible. I've seen a lot worse. Yeah, I've seen a lot worse. They're burnt up a little bit, but nothing major. Like I said, seen a lot worse. So let's start with plugs and wires, and we'll go from there. So, seeing as my gut always never leaves me wrong, I went down here to grab the connector that plugs the coil in. On 5 and 2, it feels a little cattywampus, so I'm going to get these coils out of here, take a look at it first. Might get away with not having to do plugs and wires, and I might just change the ignition coil. I think I might have found our problem. Gut didn't steer me wrong. So here's a connector that goes for the coil. You got 1 and 2 or whatnot. There's 2 and 5. Look at that connector. Here's the other one over there. Now, I probably did make a situation worse, probably moving it or whatnot, but just pulling it off, not even addressing it, that is not helping. So like I said, love to do plugs and wires. His spark plug doesn't look too bad. I think there's a lot of life left in it. Plug wires look like they are a little crispy, but nothing that's out in the ordinary. Something that's used that's maybe a few years old. But these ignition coils, I don't know what it is with the Hyundais. Any of the Hyundai plastic stuff, any of the connectors and whatnot, they become very, very brittle over time. These engines must have run really, really warm. But yeah, I'm going to start with getting the ignition coil, because this doesn't look, yeah, that ain't going to work. It's all busted on the ends, even on the ignition coil side. Yep, I got to start with that, unfortunately. So I'm going to run to the parts store and get an ignition coil for this. Alrighty guys, that's how she's supposed to look. Not like that. Alright, let's get that slapped in, hook the plug wires back up, get our spark plug back in and our ignition wire, and then fire it up and see how she runs. If I need to pull it off and do plugs and wires, I will, but like I said, this plug doesn't look all that bad. It's not worn off on the top or anything. It looks somewhat recent. It isn't burnt down on the ceramic. If they got 10, 15,000 miles, maybe, I'd be surprised. But being a 80 to 100,000 mile plug, should have a little bit more life on it. But this is expensive enough. Let's get this swapped out and start with that. Well, it's looking like he's gonna probably still need plugs and wires. It's running better, but it's not perfect. Got a code to pop up, cylinder 5 misfire. So anyway, I'm gonna call a customer, let them know, hey, we got a coil in it because that one was shot, clear to see on it. But we're still gonna need to do plugs and wires on it. So got the approval from the customer. Yep, told him I'm gonna do the plugs and wires, and he said, yeah, I'd have done it myself, but intake has to come off. It is not a fun job. And I said, yep, I know, absolutely. So let me show you what I got. So bolts come out of the upper plenum. We've got a bunch of 10mm bolts holding different brackets, just like so. Throttle body's gonna come off. The cables have to come off. A bunch of stuff has to get disconnected. Yeah, he started laughing about it. I feel like I'm pin the tail on the donkey trying to get the ones out of the back. But anyway, I got those out. I got it offset right now. I'm gonna fold this thing over, get the plug wires and plugs done in the back, put it back down, and then do the front. Alrighty, got her all back together. Got to tighten the hose for the ductwork, connected a couple of connectors, and we're going to fire it up and see how she runs. Alrighty guys, make sure we did it right. That's how she's supposed to run. So when I pulled out cylinder 5, it was oil soaked on the top of it, so it must be leaking down. I might have gave us our miss, or intermittent miss. It might have been grounding out on the spark plug wire or the plug itself, but that's how she's supposed to run. This customer will be tickle pink. With that being said, guys, that'll do it for this one. We're gonna clean up our tools, get everything put away, and get on to the next job. Need help like this? Give us a shout. We'll help you out. Hope you guys have a wonderful day.